So in this video, I'm going to show you how niche creators pulling in just a few thousand views are quietly generating 100K to 200K plus months from their coaching and info product businesses. They are not the loud, flashy marketers you see everywhere nowadays, and they do not run a bloated teams that eat into their profit margin. So what you learned today is the exact strategy behind this approach and how it can help you scale to those 50K, 100K plus months and beyond with better margins, less stress, and healthier cash flow as a good info business should be run. How this positions you as the premium authority in your space, allowing you to outperform your competition completely. So if you're an infopreneur or coach looking to scale to those 50K, 100K plus months and beyond, and you're looking to install the exact system we've discussed within this video, then click the first link in the description. So if you look at the current state of the info market, right, most of them is saturated with loud front-end marketers essentially selling opportunities to beginners, right? And there's nothing wrong with that, right? The reason why we are here today was because some days within the past week got sold on the opportunity, right? But right now, everybody's pushing high-ticket offers down their audience's throat, right? Audience fatigue is at an all-time high, whereas trust between the audience and the coach is at an all-time low, right? And beginner funnels, which consists of the typical opt-in page, conversion page, could be a VSL page, could be a webinar, could be an event, to downsell or even to booking a call, to directly closing them for a 5K offer, those are essentially commoditized. And although some creators might add a fancier version like the long-term nurture, newsletter, downsell, free community, the overall pattern looks the same, right? So this alone creates the gap where black horse creators are able to stand out and strive in this low trust recession, right? Coaches such as Dante Timpano, who did 200K in the past month, right? Tory trades within the trading space, or even Defino Harding, right? He has this Road to Bugatti series, right? And so these creators, they are not the loudest, they are not super viral, and they're more so under the radar creators. But once people watches their videos, their audience knows that they know their stuff, right? And that alone is attractive to serious individuals and are most respected by insiders, where once people see your video, they know that you know what you are talking about, okay? And that is what we call the black horse positioning. And why our black horse creators owns the most profitable program and why this position allows you to stand out within the market is because of this, right? But before we go into that, let's talk about the traits as well as the behaviors to allow you to position yourself as a black horse creator, right? Most of them, they show quite authority, right? They have minimalist marketing, but the content that they put out within their social media platforms, they are super value dense. They're essentially those value dense content and non-hype content, right? The tone that they speak to are essentially they're like speaking to affluent buyers, right? Super respectful, super under the radar, super humble sort of tone, right? And that alone attracts insiders, right? Because why? They speak in specifics, which rebels those beginners, right? If you look at Timpano's brand, he publishes content like, hey, how 8-figure ecom brands manages cash flow, right? The word cash flow alone, that alone repels beginners, because beginners, they don't even know what are cash flows, right? Or even Facebook ad strategies. Okay, most beginners, they're more so leaning towards the organic strategy more than the paid strategy. So you can see that just from the content that people like him puts out, they would attract more so the people who are already within the industry looking to scale their e-com stores, or even Tory trades, right? Fake outs with trend lines, right? Only people within the space will know what are fake outs and what are trend lines, right? Or even Defino Harding, okay? Now he has two different channels. This is his main channel where he's going more so the top of funnel route, right? But he has his business channel where he goes in depth into scaling e-commerce stores. And that is what we call the black horse positioning, right? And all of them leads with proof, right? They uses proven systems and fulfill on their promises between people who essentially engage with their brand. And all of them lead with a mid-ticket entry, right? Essentially prices that ranges from $50 to $499, right? For example, Tori Trades, she has this Learn to Trade Academy, which is only $299 for a 6-month access, right? Or even Defino, right? Which leads with a low ticket offer, which is only $49 per month with a 7-day trial. And so you can see that most of them, they position their offer as like a earn thing, right? People are not like, they're not shoveling high ticket offers down their audience's throat, right? This alone positions your high ticket offer as something that your audience needs to earn, which is what we call the earn backend, right? 5K to 15K offers, which are on the backend, upsell offers are reserved only for those who qualified, right? They have less to no flashy marketing. They flex only deep industry knowledge compared to more so the lifestyle content. Okay. All right. So back to how you can own this black horse positioning, black horse creator, and really outcompete your competition is that you have to think about the current marketplace, right? A lot of people right now, they're shoveling their high ticket offers down their audience's throat, right? And what happens when everybody is shoveling their high ticket offers down their audience's throat like it is a commodity is that people will treat it like, hey, this is just a commodity. Why would we pick you instead of some other guy that offers a cheaper thing? Because the thing is that if you shove those high ticket offers down your audience's throat, instead of positioning it as something that they have to earn, is that your audience would just compare your price to another competitor's price. Okay, and that alone isn't what you want your market to compare from, right? Because you want your market to compare it from the value that they are getting and the results that you can guarantee them, right? And things that a lot of people, it's like they're positioning their high ticket offers. It's like they are positioning their high ticket offers as some books they can pull off the shelf whenever they want to, right? But if we look at how, luxury brands like Hermes or even Louis Vuitton, right? They're not publicly selling their most luxurious items. Most of the time, their luxurious items are mostly stored at the back of the store, right? Essentially, think about this bag, right? I don't even know how to pronounce this, but Sag Bijo Birkin was cost around 2 million plus USD, right? Or even this bag, Ginza Tanaka Birkin bag, around 1.4 million, right? Those bags are not publicized and are not publicly selling on their main website, right? Why? Because they want to position this as something that is really luxury and something that their audience needs to earn. When you go into a luxury store, most of the time you have to be a repeat customer to be on their list of people that they first hit up whenever a scarce item just reached the store, right? Repeat buyers. Because to know that the chances of you buying the luxury item, if you have been purchasing there for months, would be significantly higher than people who are just looking to purchase it for one time. Okay, and that alone even decreases the customer dispute rate or even customer refund rate as well. Okay, and so the idea is that what is hidden, what is scarce, become desirable. And how do we put this into place that you want to frame your mid-ticket offer as like the front room, right? Lead with mid-ticket offers that ranges anywhere from $97 to $997, right? Excuse the little drawings right there, right? Because the thing is that you want people to come into your ecosystem, right? Because within this industry, a lot of people are doing opt-in page, and then after they get their buyer's information like their name, phone number, email, they are directly redirected to the conversion page. And most of the times, especially when essentially all of the creators are using this workflow, most people would give their fake name, their fake email, or even their fake phone number. Okay, so why would you want to lead with this mid-ticket offer? Is that it does two things. Number one, when people purchase, their emails are more valuable than the emails you get from the typical opt-in page, right? And number two, you filter out those serious buyers who are willing to spend money and understand the concept of investing in themselves. And number three is that once they are within your ecosystem for, let's say, 180 days, which could be the timeline of your mid-ticket offer. Let's say your student is 2/3 through the program, right? And they hit a significant win, right? It's like once they hit this win, the amount that they paid for is worth and it's paid like 10 times over. I hope you get the concept, right? And once they get this significant win, what you can then do, or you can have your customer success coach do, is to hop on an interview call with them, right? We frame it as a student success interview. You could put it as 40 to 45 minutes, okay? 45 minutes, not 43 minutes. And 20 to 30 minutes of those would be essentially when the recording starts. Now, why 20 to 30 minutes? You'll get to know in a little minute, right? But 20 to 30 minutes would be essentially the time where you talk to them, you ask them questions about, hey, why was this program? Hey, how was your experience within this program, right? What was the best thing? What was the worst thing? What was the most that you've learned from, right? And what made you join this program, essentially, like customer testimonial questions that you can ask within that interview for 20 to 30 minutes. And so when those recording ends, what you can then do for the rest of 30 to 45 minute mark is to essentially try to present them your higher ticket offerings, right? Because think about the psychology aspect of this. With those 20 to 30 minutes, you're constantly asking them questions to themselves about why you are the best and how you have helped them. It's like for 20 to 30 minutes, they're selling themselves on why you are the best. And when prospects spend 20 to 30 minutes selling themselves on why you are the best, how hard it is for you to essentially present them the next upsell opportunity for the next minute, right? 20 to 30 minutes. Half an hour of them selling themselves on why you are the best, right? The next 15 minutes, when you present that upsell, they've already spent those 20 to 30 minutes selling themselves on why you are the best. So this would be super easy. Upsell them, right? To your higher ticket offerings. Could be some done for you services. Could be some, hey, I'll join in with you and we can scale your brand up to those 6, 7, 8 figures, etc. Right? And those would typically cost around 5K to around 15K or beyond, right? I've seen mastermind that sell anywhere from like 20K to 30K per mastermind, which is kind of crazy, okay? And even if they do not have the budget to move on right away on that call, give them a couple of days, 2 to 3 days for them, or even 1 week to accumulate those funds. And once they are ready, they can reach back out to you within those DMs. No closers needed. 95% profit margins, discounting those merchant fees as well as maybe some service provider fees. Actually, if you include some service provider fees, it might goes down to like 80, 75% plus, okay? So when you lead with mid-ticket offers, so what are the buyer psychology that you appeal to that once your audience have that sort of belief in their mind, your solution becomes a natural next step, right? Because things that they probably have been burned in the past, right? They have a bad experiences from different bad apples, right? They do not want to be sold to, but they want to find the right mentor to really guide them through the next step, right? They want the right frameworks, they want the right clarity, and they want the right blueprint, right? Because when you position yourself as a black horse creator, most of the time you're not introducing them to a business opportunity, right? But some other creators have already introduced them and sold them on why this business opportunity is the best. But you are there to essentially help them scale up from their previous experience and teach them the right way of running essentially their brand, or the right way to trade, or the right way to essentially scale organically if you run a clothing brand, right? They need someone who has actual industry knowledge and knows what they are doing, right? And when you position yourself as the black horse creator, this alone creates what we call the positioning authority that most of your competitors do not have, right? And what are those 5 positioning authority? You're gonna find out in a little minute. But the first one is the pro buyer positioning. This one might be just the strongest, right? Because this alone positions yourself as someone who stands with the buyer instead of against them, right? The old saying is that, hey, people do not want to be sold to, they want to buy. And when you can align your incentive and when you can align your ideas with the buyer, they view you as a friend. And how hard is it for you to do business with a friend? It's probably easy, right? Because this alone make you seem like, hey, you're not trying to extract the most money from your audiences fast, right? You earn trust by leading with a valuable front-end product that isn't expensive but isn't cheap at the same time, that filters out the wrong people and brings the right people in, right? And that certain right people would bring you more profit than those, those unfiltered people, right? Your audience feels like you're not following the typical trend, but you are like in a position of one. And what this allows you to create is that it creates immediate respect, buyer loyalty, higher lifetime value because of all of these aspects that goes into play. And the next benefit or positioning authority, tapping into energy a little bit, is that you frame yourself as like, hey, I do not need your money. I do not need to hard sell you because I know how valuable my time and my solution is. So you send the subconscious signal that, hey, I don't need to pressure you into a 5K decision up front, right? What do people mostly say? Like, I don't chase, I track. Something similar to this, right? Because how this one positions you is that, hey, you look like you are detached, which you are. And it also creates a mystique from you detaching yourself from the outcome, right? Your audience will wonder, hey, if I get all of these for only $299 or whatever your price is, what is on the back end? I can only imagine how valuable the back end is, right? And that alone creates perceived abundance because you are detached, right? You do not need their money, right? It frames you as, hey, you have the authority positioning and buyers are chasing you instead of you chasing them because you're detached. Hey, I don't need you. Maybe when you position yourself as that way, you frame yourself as, hey, when your audience are watching this, maybe they need you instead of you needing them. Okay. The third point is the ethical expert frame. And honestly, this is something that most of the industry does not have, right? Because the thing is that you're not selling information, because information right now, it is commoditized, right? People can pay $20 per month to ChatGPT to access the world's knowledge, right? You're selling them a result of their desired state instead of an opportunity or just like information, okay? Because sometimes, most of the time, what you will see is that people buy into your solution because they want confirmation on something that they are not certain about, not joining you just for some information, right? They want the confirmation that you can bring them to their desired state. And that alone, again, it positions you, a lot of positioning right here, right? But it positions the mid-ticket offer as a gateway to the VIP room, right? So imagine this. The Hermes bag example, right? Their website is the typical, the gateway, the typical front end room. But once you have bought from that store over and over again, that is your gateway to the VIP room, right? And people feel like you actually get them, right? You're the same one in a sea of noise and in a sea of other gurus. Okay, and that alone creates higher integrity perception. You're not just there for the money, you're there to actually help them out. And by consequence of helping them out, you create essentially abundance for yourself, if that is what you want to call it, right? And not only that, it increases the word of mouth, which essentially is referrals, okay? Which is the strongest form of marketing you can ever have. Okay. Now the fourth point, we're getting almost there, which is the luxury psychology for the back end, right? In a market where most people are shoving down their high ticket offers as a commodity thing that their audience can pull just off of the bookshelf whenever they want to, you are being framed as, hey, you're not allowing all individuals to get the opportunity to work with you one-on-one. So when it comes time for you to upsell your audience, it feels like, hey, they have earned it and they're not sold to joining, but they're buying access into your one-on-one access. And within the course, whenever you upsell them, they can self-select, hey, I'm not ready yet, but some days, sometime I will be and I will join. Right? It feels like they have to earn themselves to join that position. And this alone, again, creates a pull-based back-end demand, right? Most of the time within marketing, there's two forms of marketing, right? There's push marketing and there's pull marketing. What you want to do, and push marketing, just for some context, are like direct response. Hey, you see this, I want you to buy right now. That is the form of push marketing. Whereas pull marketing is essentially, hey, I'm not desperate. If you want to buy whenever you want, come and buy. Okay, they are meeting their buyers whenever their buyers are ready, right? And that is the best position you can have, because this creates authority, because your high ticket products is only invitation only, and your mid ticket products is not that expensive but not that cheap at the same time. Filters out the bad apples and pulls in people who actually want to work with you at an intimate level. Okay. And of course, the last point is, the legit aura, right? Your audience knows they should be listening to you. They know that you are more legit, right? Your audience knows that, hey, this is someone that is worth my time and is worth listening to. And sophisticated buyers respect this, because sophisticated buyers are the buyers that can have the biggest buying power to invest in your solution. And therefore, you're building a healthy cash flow month on month, just like a traditional healthy info business should be ran in the first place, right? And so this alone, again, creates a long-term positioning leverage, not like those churn and burn type of models. Okay, so hopefully this was valuable. So this is the black horse positioning. So if any of this helps within this recording, do subscribe, do maybe leave a comment, and check out the first link in the description if you do want to scale your info product without the need of a sales team, high cash flow, low stress, and healthy margins, right? So with that being said, I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.